Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about the Play Hard series by Bromberg, which I'm so excited about. I've never heard anyone talk about this series. I literally happened upon this series because I recently became obsessed with Bromberg. If you didn't watch my series I did on her F1 books, that are so good. I'll link my video to the Full Throttle series below if you want more Bromberg. But today, like I said, we're talking about the Play Hard series, which is 5 books. And each of the books, I thought it was really interesting. We're following sisters. I love sisters. I love my sister. So I was like, this is so fun. I've never really had that done as like a concept. I mean, like I've read like family books, but usually it's like boys and girls. I don't think I've ever necessarily read just sisters. So I thought that was super fun. And the like thing that connects them all, other than being related, is that they all are sports agents under their fathers. One that they started, KSM or Kincaid Sports Management, and each of them are trying to like recruit a different big athlete over to their firm, and that's kind of where our stories take place. So our first one we have is Hard to Handle, and I gave this one 3 stars. This story follows Dekker and Hunter. Hunter is a professional hockey player, and he's super good, as are all of the guys that are the athletes in this book, as they always are in books, just like the best athlete in their sport. But anyways, he's very good, and she is a sports management manager, as I said, and they're trying to get him over. There's also like a storyline of this agent that they have beef with, Finn Sanderson, because he dated one of the sisters and he cheated on her and it was like really bad, and he's also just kind of like a jerk in general, and he's been stealing their clients, so now they kind of came up with this thing to steal his clients back. So Hunter is one of his clients. Hunter is having a hard time because he's having family issues, and he is like having trouble off the ice, not on the ice, but because he's still having trouble off the ice, like teams are getting fishy about him, and he could be blowing up his career even though he's like playing better than he ever has in his life. So he needs help figuring all that out. Enter Dekker, but Dekker is really not excited to be given Hunter as her first person to come over to the KSM team because they have a history. They actually were hooking up for like a year on and off, I believe it was. They stopped because Dekker finished it because she was getting feelings for Hunter, and she just runs away when things get serious. So she's not really excited to go back to that because she knows she's going to be super tempted and knows she's going to like fall back into the same habits, but she doesn't want to because she knows he doesn't want more. So that's kind of the setup of the book. I feel like it was really fun. It was a great introduction to all the characters, to the father, to Finn. Like, I feel like it just had a really good ring to it. I think it had like surprise twists and turns in it too. Definitely, if that's something you like, this is the book for you. The next book is Hard to Hold, and I gave this one 3.75 stars. This one follows Rush and I believe Lennox. Is that right? Yes, Lennox. I was right. So basically the setup for this one is Lennox is really upset because her family kind of deny her this like position, this speaking position she was offered, and she doesn't really understand why. And she is also given this big opportunity for the MLS, for soccer in America, and they don't want her to take it, and she doesn't really understand why they don't want her to take it. She just thinks they don't really believe in her, so she gets really offended, and she kind of lashes out, and she decides to take the job anyways, even though they tell her not to. And she also, they're in New York usually, and she starts living in LA with her friend just to be like, I need to get away for a little bit. And then also on Rush's side, he is a soccer player, a British soccer player. He has not had the easiest upbringing, life, whatever, and he has worked really hard and he's doing super well, but there's this huge scandal that comes out, and it's ruining his career and ruining his chances of staying on the team he loves and playing the sport he loves and doing all these things. So he's kind of in panic mode, and he also flees to LA to kind of also get some space and some peace and all of that. And it ends up they're in the same house because they're both staying at like a friend's house, and that they're both also working at the MLS together on this like deal that they're both concocting thing type. And I feel like this one was really fun. It had me like blushing. I don't know, he was just like a really fun character. The classic like confident but like charming and still fun and nice. Like he's not like mean by any means. So I really liked that. I thought the way their story progressed was really, I don't know, like pretty. Like I think when you have like emotionally distant people, sometimes it's like, no, I don't want to say boring, but like hard to stay super into it because they're just like, I don't want to be in love, I don't want to, and like this is in front of me, but I don't want it, and like whatever. And then sometimes I catch myself being like, guys, just get it together, please. But I feel like this one was just so nice, and it felt really genuine, I feel like is a good word for this book. And it just felt like people I knew and real people in the world, which I think is obviously a huge accomplishment for a book about fictional people. And I think it's a great story, and I think this was probably my favorite in the entire series. Does the coloring look weird in this video? Be honest. I'm filming at night, which I like never do, but I've been really busy and I can't film as much during the day. So I was like, well, I still want to film. I still want to get this video out. Like, I'm really happy about it. Like, I want to film this video. So I was like, I'll just do it anyways. And then this overhead light is like a lot. So then I was like, well, we'll just turn off. There's like a color, it was like auto white or something it was called on my camera, and I turned it off. So it's like more saturated now. So if I look like a 2016 Instagram post, please mind your business. I tried my best. But anyways, on to the third book, which is Hard to Score, and I gave this one a 3.5. This one is classic childhood friends to lovers. Well, it's more like childhood friends to enemies to lovers. This one follows, I don't remember the girl's name, I think it starts with a B, and Drew. And I only remember Drew's name because it's in the description. I did not remember his name really either. But this one, he plays football. He is a backup quarterback in New York. And he's super duper talented, but he's never gotten that like starting one position. Or he has, but it's been a really long time of him being a second string quarterback. And it's because of the scandal that happened with his father. Are you seeing scandals are like a common theme throughout these books? Which I guess makes sense because it is dealing with like a sports management company. So like they need something to like help them. But it is just kind of funny that each time I feel like I'm being like, a scandal, and they have a scandal, and another scandal. Like, call Olivia Pope, we have scandal on the scene. But anyways, that was my knee cracking. Could you guys hear that? That was crazy. Okay, anyways, old lady alert. They see each other again because she's supposed to be recruiting the starting quarterback on his team. And then when she's there, she sees Drew practicing, is like, he's super good. And then she's like, wait, that's Drew. I know Drew. Like, what the heck? And they were childhood best friends. Their families were like super duper close, literally summered every year together, like hung out all the time, were like inseparable. And then because of the scandal that happens, their families like completely split from each other, like broke off, like no connection at all there anymore. And it was super sad. And she always had a huge crush on Drew. And they had their first kiss, or she had her first kiss. I don't think it was his first kiss, but it was her first kiss with him, and she's had feelings for him ever since. And she's so excited to see him and is like, oh my gosh, let's like be friends at least. And like she's really attracted to him, but she's like, let's just like reconnect. Like, I haven't seen you in forever. You're like one of my best friends. And he's also wanting that, but he's like a lot more hesitant because of this scandal and because of this like history that they have together. And she doesn't really understand why, and that's kind of the struggle throughout the book, is like this scandal really is so rooted in his family and like his family dynamics and what he believes to be true, and it affects their relationship because it has to do with her family and her father, and all just kind of like coming together and this like tumultuous tornado. And it's very good and entertaining and a very easy, fun read that still is very like grounded and has, you know, heart and merit to it. What am I even saying? I don't know. I don't know how to describe books. I like it. Read it. The next book is Hard to Lose, and I gave this one 3.75. I think this is tied with my favorite of the series. I really like this one too. I was surprised how much I liked this, just because the setup I wasn't really sure about. Like, I don't know, I'll get into it. But fun fact, this is a veteran story, and I did read this on Memorial Day. No, Veterans Day. Oh my goodness. I read it on Veterans Day. I didn't really mean to, but it was just the next book in my lineup, and then I was reading, and it worked out perfectly. This story follows Gunnar and Chase. I did remember both their names on my own, so proof that I liked this book. But anyways, so this story is happening because Chase is like the top agent at the firm, whatever it's called, management company, I don't know, because she's the youngest, and the youngest children are always the best, obviously, but she is the best, and she works the hardest, and just like, she's the most natural at it, probably. And she gets a letter in the mail, or actually her dad does, of this person who was a baseball player who was getting recruited about like 5 years ago, I think, at this point, and the KSM had interest in him and like being his management and all this stuff, and then he went off to the army and he could no longer do that, and it was like a really sad letter just being like, I'm giving up this dream and I wanted to thank you for even considering signing me. And she is so intrigued by this, and she wants to meet him really, really, really badly, and she wants to find out his story and see what's going on, like see if he even plays baseball anymore, see what's like happened in his life, all of these things. So it leads her to this like random small town, and it's like a veteran town, a military town. And in it, the first night she goes to a bar, kind of starts like casually asking about, not like really him, just like about the town, getting to know people because she doesn't want to come on too strong. And she meets Gunnar, who is the bartender, and they hit it off right away. They're super, super flirty. They're super sweet. Like, they're just so like honey dripping sweetness. Like, honestly, it's so like like blushing, kicking your feet, like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. Honestly, that's how I felt like the entire book. They just instantly like each other, and they're instantly like, hey, let's do this thing while it lasts, because like he knows she's not going to be there for like ever, like just a couple months, and they just have the cutest dates, the cutest moments, the cutest like everything. And like the whole plot is she's still looking for this guy, and she's trying to figure out who he is and how she can like talk to him and all these things, meanwhile getting caught up in this like romance with Gunnar. And like I said, I just feel like this book was so gosh darn cute and just like had me blushing the entire time, and Gunnar was so sweet, and I feel like their story together complemented each other so well. Like both of their scars, like emotional and like real scars, are just like, I think they like meshed well together, and it made it like really, really beautiful. And I think it was just like a really sweet story. I literally read it in one sitting because it was so good. I didn't want to put it down. So I really, 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 really recommend this book. The last book in the series is Hard to Love, which I gave 3 stars. This one follows Finn, the rival agent that we have been going on about the entire time, and Stevie. So this one, it was kind of interesting to me because the first 4 books are about KSM and about the sisters, and then this book is about Finn, which he is a like supporting character in all of the books, and he does show up and you form opinions on him. And this is my second series reading K. Bromberg. I read the Full Throttle series, as I talked about earlier, and I feel like she did this with the other one too, of kind of like the villain throughout the series. She then makes one of the characters and makes you like fall in love with him, which I think is interesting. I think I'm not like completely against it. I think it can be done well, and I think I liked the Full Throttle one kind of more than this one, but I still liked this book. But it is just kind of funny to me when it's like this person does bad things throughout the rest of the series, and then at the end you're supposed to be like, but now I like him, now he's good, now he's fixed because of love. Love fixes all. Love conquers all. Which it does, but you know what I mean. But this one is following Finn. He is taking up this crazy person, this crazy girl, client, whatever, because his like mentor is her manager right now, and he needs help, and it's just like, I can't control her anymore. And the girl is Stevie, obviously. Stevie is a tennis player, and she's been professional since she was like 14 years old. Her dad was her coach, her manager, her best friend, her only parent, like everything. And he has just recently passed, and that's why she's floundering so much. Like her entire life basically blew up, and she has to recover from that. and she's not doing it super well and doesn't really, is just kind of going crazy and like going out of control. Like she's drinking a bunch, she's like playing strip poker and like doing all these things that are just like not her. She's kind of like ruining her career that she's built over the last like 10 years playing tennis. And they actually meet on accident, or not like accident, but they meet at a bar the night before. They're paired up together, and they're gonna, you know, have some fun together, but then they don't end up doing it because she ends up falling asleep. And then the next morning it's revealed that that's who they are, and it's like a kooky coincidence type deal. And they kind of don't like each other at all first. I mean, Finn is kind of, I mean, not a super likable character, especially like at the beginning. He's very harsh and like brass. And she is just like lashing out at anyone basically, and she wants attention and she wants love. So she's just like upset when anyone doesn't like her, anyone's not giving her what she wants. So he kind of takes over this role of like taking care of her, just like in the sense of like making sure she's at her events, making sure she's being kept in line, like making sure she's doing all of her things. And they kind of form like a really beautiful like friendship in the mix of that, and like a really, really beautiful trust. I've just read books like that before, so it wasn't anything like overarchingly amazing to me, but it was very fun to read and still a really good book. Still a great way to end the series, I felt like. Still definitely worth your time, definitely worth the read. I still gave it 3 stars. It still met my above average ranking. It was still really, really good. It just wasn't my favorite of the series. It was probably my least favorite of the series, but hey, maybe it'll be your favorite of the series. Who knows? That's such the fun thing about reading. Something I love could be your least favorite book, and something you love could be my least favorite book. I just think that's so cool and so dope that you can have that. And I don't know, that sounds so cheesy, but anyways, I feel cheesy when I talk about books because they're just so amazing and they're so fun. And I'm kind of like geeking out because I just realized that I have now posted more videos on YouTube now than I have posted on like photos on Instagram or like posts on Instagram, which like is kind of like a weird thing. I just like was looking at that today, but that's just crazy to me because I've been posting YouTube videos for like almost 3 years now, I think. And that in and of itself is crazy. The journey I've been on, it's crazy. I feel like my videos now versus like then are so different, but same in so many aspects. And it all comes down to the love of talking to you guys and the love of books. So I'm so thankful that you guys watched this video and any video that you've watched. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you pick up the series. The Play Hard series is really, really good. We gotta support sister books because there should be more of them. I'm a big proponent of this. They were really fun to read, and I liked the family aspect, and I liked the girls being the connector because a lot of times it's the guys. So I really liked that. As always, you are beautiful, wonderful, kind, brave, intelligent, smart, sensitive, amazing, curious, and a lovely person. And thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you in the next one.